Hi, my name's Kathy Morrow, and I'm a member of St. Andrew's Church, and we have a drive where we're collecting shoe boxes, and we're wrapping them in beautiful Christmas wrapping paper, and then filling them with gifts for children on the border region near Palomas and Columbus. Last year, we did 500 boxes for the children, and that is a goal. I think we're going to try to exceed that this year. But one of the things we found out is that we've got a tricky way of wrapping boxes now. And I wanted to do a demonstration of how we wrap a Christmas box. It saves paper, it saves time, and it's a lot easier than the traditional wrapping way that you might think of. I'm going to show you how we wrap the boxes with all the paper that was inside that's part of the kit. The first thing we're going to deal with is the band that goes around the box. We need clear wrapping tape. This type of tape works best. This is a Scotch brand, and I like it a lot because it's got a nice heaviness to it. It's not real light and thin. And this is a trick one of our parishioners showed us on the last wrapping party. When you're done with the tape, you know how you let it go and it disappears and you can't find the end again? We just tip it a little bit at an angle and it's ready for the next use. Isn't that clever? I thought that was pretty amazing. All right, so we have glue. I'm gonna use this glue because it's a little newer and fresher, but this is the older bottle I had, and it's an Elmer's, basically Elmer's school glue. And that's easy to use and it works really well. And this works well too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little piece of tape and we're going to start this band by just holding it in place with the tape. So here's the band, and I'm going to show you this box. This box is pretty clean. There's hardly anything on three sides, except we do have this one side. So we're going to tape so that we cover up all of that commercial information there, because that's the only part about the box that's not attractive. So we can just tape that, and I'm gonna fold it back. Now, the glue, I have seen people take the glue and they hold it way up here and they squeeze and it's dropping and it's dripping and it's, oh, what a mess. You don't really have to have that much glue. Use the nozzle as a glue spreader. Put your nozzle down on the box, move quickly, don't let it puddle like I just did. Okay, that's enough. We don't have to glue it solid. Now I'm gonna run that paper over that label, and I'm gonna run some more glue, and see how I'm using the nozzle as a spreader and not holding it up and letting it just drip down, because that's a waste of glue and a big mess. Okay, here we go again. I'm just lightly squeezing the bottle. Most of it's just coming out on its own. This might actually fit. We'll see. When I was doing the dry run, it wasn't fitting very well, but maybe we've got it. Whoa, check it out. Okay, so we're going to put a little piece of tape there to hold that. Now, this next taping that we're going to do is really important. This is the edge where the lid goes down, and the lid does sometimes go over that paper. So to keep the paper from getting bunged up and torn and everything, we're going to put the tape right at the edge of the paper, but still on the box, not sticking out over where you have to flop it over, just right on the edge of the box. And we're going to turn it. I'm going to tape again. Turn it again, one last time. Just snip it off. Now, I like to do both ends. It's not absolutely necessary, but it really does help. If you have set the paper away from the bottom edge, you can do this easily. If you have the paper right at the edge, you're gonna have a hard time. So it doesn't have, this edge of the band does not have to be right on the edge. It can have a little space. That way you have a place to tape. And now this piece of artwork in the form of Christmas wrapping paper is solid, and now we have a really beautiful box on the outside. But I like to have the inside, and I'll tell you why. When I was a little girl, I had a fancy box like this, and I kept all my little treasures in there, and I just loved that box. And so we're making a box full of gifts, but we're also making the box to be a gift as well, a treasure box for them to hold all their little precious things in. All right. So I'm taping this down right at the edge, and I'm gonna make sure it's centered, that there's about an equal amount of space on both sides. And it's in place now. Now I can flip it back, and it's the same technique we were using for the band. We're gonna run a little glue on the inside, and I think while I'm at it, I'll do the bottom. And I'll do the inside up here too. Now we're ready to lay that paper in place. Now I didn't put a lot in, see? It's just using the nozzle to kind of smear it in. So you can see when I do this that it really didn't have to be a big lake full of glue. It just has to be enough to catch that paper and bring it in. I'm trying to make sure it's centered. So got it in there, looks pretty good. Coming up to the top. And we're gonna snip it off. And we're gonna tape that in too. Now the bottom of this box is finished, and we're gonna do the lid next. This is a box that has a separate lid. So I've got the tape on, and I'm just rolling it over and taping it down. This is ready. It's totally done. That was it. Ready to go. Now we're going for the lid. We have this writing right here and a blank area in here. And so I'm going to start by taping it. A piece of tape here to hold it in place. I'm going to tape it, now I'm centering it so that there's an equal amount of space on both sides, and I'm going to tape it right to the edge, like so. All right. Now flip this back, get the glue. We're going to put a little glue there. We're going to run some down the edge. I don't have to go all the way out there because there's no paper out there. But we're in there. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this over right now because it's kind of awkward for me to get to the other side. So we want it to be centered. I'm kind of looking at both edges, making sure they're okay. Now this is going to go all the way around. I'm not cutting it off. I'm going on the inside, and I'm going down this part. And I'm going to do a little bit in here. Now, around and bring it down. And try and work on that centering so it looks nice. Santa Claus looks pretty happy in there. Okay, so all we need to do now is just cut it off. I've got a nice line here to follow, so I'll just look at that and follow that. And I'm going around the edge. And then I'm going to tape. Okay, final step here is I'm just going to take a little piece of tape on that end, and I'm going to just bring it around and tape it. Now, this is a pretty box as it stands. It wouldn't be too bad to just give it to him like that, but you know me, I got to do more. So I'm going to get my ribbon. This is a ribbon that has a wire on both edges. I'm sure you've seen this in some of the stores, Walmart and Target and Hobby Lobby. It's got a bit of a wire right on the edge, and you can kind of control it with that. So what I'm going to do is kind of measure what I need. I'm going to bring the ribbon around the inside, down the front, around this side, and then I'll just cut off. And it cuts with scissors, even though it's a wire. You might want to use your very best scissors in the whole world for it, but I'm sure there's a pair of scissors around the house that is old and would be useful. Now, how am I going to get that to stay in place? I'm going to cut a piece. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and cut two right now so I don't have to go back and do this again. And a suggestion, if you're doing this project and you really get into it, you can probably get all your little pieces of tape cut ahead of time and just have them stuck on the edge of the table. Okay, so I'm pushing this tape and that's holding that in place. Here's the other side. I start at the top, bring it down, push it real good. Now you've got it. Isn't that pretty? But I'm not done yet. Okay, I've got two options here. I can use a Christmas card, or I can go with something decorative. We have to stack these boxes, so we can't have a decoration that is poofy and sticks up like a ribbon. Something like that, as we start to stack the boxes to take them to the border. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Gosh, hard to decide. Christmas card. I'm going to go with that for now. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put some glue on this, and we're just going to let it sit for a few hours. Put some glue on and set it in place, and we are done. The box is done. It's beautiful on the outside, it's beautiful on the inside, and it's ready to go to some child to put all their precious stuff in.